welcome back to the channel. Now over the last, I don't know, 12-18 months or so, I've been getting quite a few emails from serving police officers who have got a driving course, police driving course coming up. And they've been asking for a couple of things. Sometimes it's a bit of guidance about what to expect on the course and how to prepare for it. And sometimes they're asking for a day's or half a day's driver coaching just to prepare them for that driving course, get them ready. The first thing I'd say is, if you want a day's driver coaching, if you want to prepare for a police driving course, give me a shout, drop me an email. You'll find contact details on the website, reslocal.com. Drop me an email through that and we can sort something out. But it sort of prompted me to make a little series of videos about how to prepare for the most common police driving courses, certainly for UK police forces anyway. And those three driving courses or driving standards are basic, standard or response. Depending on which force you work for, it could be called standard, it could be called response, it's the same course. And advanced driving course. Now a lot of this stuff will be relevant if you're in one of the other emergency services or you're going on to do a driving course where you may be using exemptions. But my background is in police driver training, so that's the best information I can share with you is from police driver training. But the standards, the system, all that kind of stuff, they're all the same in the other emergency services that you might be working in. I suppose the other thing to mention is there are further driving courses and driver training that you can undertake in the police. Certainly once you've reached advanced standard, you could go on to do a security escort course or a VIP escort course. You could go on to do an initial pursuit course, and then a TPAC course, a tactical pursuit and containment course, and there's other things like instructors courses and stuff like that. I'm not going to cover those in this series of videos. Just going to cover the three most common driving courses that you will undertake as a police officer in the UK. Basic, standard or response, whatever you want to call it, and advanced. And I think it's important to note as well, what I'm also not going to do is go into a huge amount of detail about what's required from you as a driver on those courses. All that stuff's covered in a series of videos I did about how to pass an advanced driving test. I put a link in the description below to the playlist, and that playlist includes everything that you need to know about how to pass one of these courses, all the different skills and abilities, all the different techniques that you'll need to be employing in order to pass one of these police driving courses. All I'm going to do in this little series of videos is tell you how to prepare. Because what you've got to remember is, with the exception of the basic driving standard, for standard or response and advanced, you're going on a course. And they're quite a long course. A standard course is 3 weeks, an advanced course is 4 weeks. And you're going on a course with some really experienced and really knowledgeable instructors who have been trained how to and are experienced in getting people from absolutely no standard whatsoever up to standard or advanced. I mean, in the police driving school I used to work at in Lancashire, we used to get students from outside agencies, armed forces and things like that, and we would take them from no police driver training whatsoever up to advanced level in just 4 weeks. And more often than not, they would pass the course. So if you're worried about the driving course, don't worry too much about it. The instructors are really good, they're really experienced, and they know how to deal with people who might be either nervous or struggling with certain aspects of the course. However, this little series that I'm going to do is aimed at allowing you to prepare for those courses the best that you possibly can, to get you in the strongest possible position at the start of that driving course, so that you're learning straight away and you're already building on a series of skills that you've already got. So let me talk you through what each of those courses involve and what they give you. And then in subsequent videos, I'll do a video about basic, I'll do a video about standard or response, and I'll do a video about advanced and how to prepare for each of those different courses. And while I'm doing it, I'll have a drive on some nice roads. So if you're not interested in the police side of things, turn the volume down and have a watch of the drive on some nice roads. So what are those three different types of driving qualifications that you can get in the police? Let's start with basic. Now, basic didn't used to exist when I was a young relatively inexperienced police officer. When I first joined the police back in the early 90s, you did your probation, you did your first 2 years, and you didn't get anywhere near the driving seat of a car until you'd got at least 2 years in. And then at some point you will go in for your standard driving course, and that would allow you to drive Panda cars, local response cars, the lower performance end of police cars, and maybe the section van as well. But there was a recognition quite a few years ago that you know, there is a limit on how many drivers that can get through driving school. Actually, this was holding back a lot of people in being able to do the jobs. So, quite early on in your police career, if you're a police officer, or if you're a civilian member of police staff as well, and you are a part of your job is driving police vehicles. I don't mean police cars. I mean, you know, you might be a SOCO, you might be scenes of crime officer, you might be a forensic investigator, you might be, I don't know, a mechanic at the garage, you might be a civilian investigator going out taking statements. In all of these different roles across the police, you are required to drive police vehicles. They might not be what people out there think of as police cars. They might not have blue lights on and be fully liveried. They might be completely plain vehicles. But they're still a police vehicle. And the police need to be satisfied that before they send somebody out in one of those vehicles, they're going to be safe. So quite a few years ago, the police introduced the basic driver permit. And what a basic driver permit allows you to do is simply drive police vehicles from A to B. Move around the borough, move around your division. What a basic driver permit does not give you is any authority to use exemptions, and exemptions are relevant to the next two driver courses, standard or response and advanced driving courses. And the exemptions I'm talking about, the main exemptions I'm talking about are speed limits, red traffic lights, keep left right bollards, those kind of things. So a standard driver permit allows you to just drive around. It doesn't allow you to stop other vehicles, it doesn't allow you to pursue other vehicles, definitely doesn't allow you to respond to incidents if that response requires the use of exemptions. So in the next video, I'll talk in detail about how you can prepare for a basic driver assessment. But the difference with a basic driver assessment is you don't get a course. You don't get any teaching with that. It's just an assessment of your driving ability and whether the organisation as a whole is happy to allow you to go out and drive police vehicles, just A to B. The next level of driver training, and it is driver training this time, is the standard or response driving course. Now I'm hearing reports from some police forces that officers are waiting years for these courses because the pressure's off in terms of getting from A to B, because quite early on in your career you will get a basic driver assessment. But I've heard stories about police officers waiting 7, 8, 9 years for even a standard driving course these days, which is quite surprising really. You'd think there'd be more demand for those courses within divisions, but that seems to be the way it's gone now. On a standard driving course, a response driving course, whatever you want to call it, at the end of that course, you'll get a permit to drive low performance police vehicles and use exemptions when responding to incidents. So those speed limit exemptions, red light exemptions, things like that, exemptions from keep left bollards, things like that. You're permitted to use those exemptions with a standard or response driving permit. The course is 3 weeks long. The first 2 weeks of that course, you'll just be driving. It'll be about improving your driving skills, getting you to a standard where in the third week of that course, the instructors will introduce you to response driving. You'll start driving on blue lights, with sirens, using those exemptions, using that emergency equipment to respond to incidents, which is something you're not permitted to do with a basic driver permit. Unlike the basic driver permit, a standard police driving course is generally just for police officers. A lot of special constables can do a standard driving course as well. After the standard police driving course comes your advanced. Now, an advanced driving course is a bit more specialised. It is specifically for police officers who are going on to a more specialised role where they will be required to drive high performance police cars. Now, there is a calculation that police forces use to decide whether a police car is low performance or high performance. I can't remember how that works. It changes all the time, that. But if you are going on to be a roads policing officer, a traffic officer as we used to call them, you're going on the motorway, if you are going to be an armed response officer, if you're going to be doing surveillance work, any one of a number of different specialised roles where you'll be required to drive high performance police cars and use exemptions, then you will need to do an advanced driving course. An advanced driving course is 4 weeks long. And quite honestly, if you like driving, it's the best course you'll ever do. It's still a highlight of my career. It's 29 years this year since I did my advanced police driving course, and I still look back on it very fondly. I really enjoyed that course. On that course you will be driving high performance police cars, and on national speed limit roads you'll be taking full advantage of your exemption from speed limits. You'll be driving at very high speeds where it's safe. Don't do anything that's unsafe. But you'll be doing that under instruction from an expert instructor who really knows the stuff. So if you've got an advanced driving course coming up in the police, I'm a bit jealous of you. So those are the 3 different driving standards within the police, the 3 I'm going to look at in this little series of videos. In the next video, I'm going to look at the basic driver standard and how to prepare for that basic driver standard. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you get something out of this little series of videos, especially if you're a member of police staff or you're a serving police officer. And if not, hopefully you'll find it interesting as well. Don't forget to go and have a look at the website, reglocal.com. There's loads more information there about advanced and performance driving and riding. Information about the books that I've written, how you can get hold of a copy, and how to get a day's driver or rider coaching with me if you fancy a ride out on some of these roads. But for now, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.